This is episode 0006 of Gary's Glorious Golden Nuggets. And today we are happy to have from Denmark, Guni Blohm. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the German pronunciation, Bloom. So Guni, welcome to Gary's Glorious Golden Nuggets.
Thank you so much, Gary. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let me tell you a little bit about our guest today. Guni's family felt called to be missionaries to Africa. They were not sponsored by any church. They went through Europe on a caravan, and when they landed into Spain, they ran out of money and they had no funds, and the family just worked it out from there. At age 13, she returned to Denmark, where she completed her education and began a career as an architect of interior design. This led her into 3D modeling, which allowed her to work with big industries in the petroleum, the pharmaceutical, and I can't remember the other one, manufacturing. And because of this technology background, it was a natural fit for Guni to look at the digital world as a way to express herself. But she's not expressing herself as an engineer. She is a certified spiritual and life coach. And so there we go. Guni, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. Having said all of that, I just want to begin with the question I always ask everyone who comes into the show, and that is, what is the one thing you wish you had known before you started your journey as a digital entrepreneur?
Oh, Gary, that there was a million things I wish I had known, but at the same time, I feel that I did have a lot of support starting this journey. You know, I came into a community that really helped me out. And, you know, I had known how much power I had in me, in myself, you know, how much I needed to rely on myself and my own abilities, basically, because that's taken me quite some years to come to that place where I realize that I have everything it takes to make this come true.
Make your dreams come true. I think it's interesting that when people are asked this question, they have this sense of overwhelm because there are so many things that they weren't prepared for. And yet, with your technical background, one would assume that you were well prepared in advance for it. So a surprise? Was there like, oh my?
Yeah, it was like really a surprise that it was not the technical skills that was like my biggest challenge. It was actually the believing in myself and realizing how difficult it was for me to actually to set my goals and to have a clear vision of what is it that I want to do, because I was all over the place. You know, I could do this and I could do that, and I want to talk about health, and I want to talk about spirituality, and I want to help people to realize how powerful they are. And it was like there was so many routes that I could go on. So yeah, and so that really surprised me.
Kind of like being the proverbial child in the candy shop. So many choices, and what do I do? Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
So what do you think has been your biggest failure so far entering into this digital world?
Oh, you know, first of all, I don't believe in failures. So that was a difficult question for me, because I actually realized that I was looking to answer your question. So what was my biggest failure? And when I don't really feel that anything is a failure, I feel that whatever I meet in life and whatever I try to do and I don't have the outcome that I want, I wished to have, it's not a failure. It's a learning, you know. It's like, oh, so that didn't work. So what happened? You know, what was it in me that was not in coherence or in resonance with that the route I pursued? So it's more like information for me on, well, maybe this is not the way you need to go. Maybe you need to approach it in a different way. So I don't actually see it as failure, but I had a lot of learning in my life. Trust me, I had a lot. And I think the biggest learning was probably that I need to trust myself. Yeah.
So as a digital entrepreneur, trusting yourself is key because you are the one responsible.
Totally. Exactly. That's like, I am the only one who is responsible for everything, you know. It's me who has to make things happen. It's also me who can mess up things, right?
I'm responsible.
I am.
So
Yeah.
so the fact that you don't view anything as a failure, it's just a learning, brings out a whole new mindset, doesn't it? It brings out that I'm responsible, I'm the one in charge. So if this happens, there's something for me to learn in this, learn the lesson, move on. And that's a totally different mindset than a lot of people that you run into day to day. They just look at everything as acting on them on the outside as if they're a pawn of fate.
Yeah. But you know, I think that I had that learning before I went into this entrepreneurial business, because in my life, you know, having been married and the things that went on there, I realized that it was not, you know, I was not a victim of whatever is going on in my life, that I could actually make a difference. And I was the one to make the decisions to have my life change the way that I wished it to be. So taking responsibility for my own life has really, really helped me a lot, because it showed me that, yes, I am responsible. It also tells me that I have the power to change my life. You know, I have the power to influence my life in the way that I want it to go.
Well, you know, that make a great segue, because my next question is what advice would you give someone who is saying, I want to pursue the journey of being an online entrepreneur? So what would you say to them?
If they have the thought, it's because there's something in them that wants to come out. And then I believe that there's no other way than just go ahead and start the journey, because you can try and keep it down and ignore it and say, no, it's not for me. I'm too scared. I don't have anything to say. Nobody will listen to me. All that stuff that comes up in our minds when we start taking a step into the unknown, right? We have this fear coming in. And I would basically just say, go for it. You know, you are going to learn on the journey. You don't have to know everything on up front. It will come while you're on the journey.
It's really quite the hero's journey, isn't it?
Yes, totally, it is. And there are a lot of dragons we're going to slay or train. Maybe I should say train, because, you know, the dragons are just a part of us. You know, it's just pieces of us that wants to keep us safe, right? So yeah, and I think we need to honor those parts of us that tell us, no, don't go that way because it's dangerous, you know, and say, okay, I hear you, I hear what you say, you're trying to keep me safe, but you know, this is okay, I've got it, I'm going that way because I can feel that that's what I need to do and that's what I want to do.
Yes, in some ways, to me, this is the journey of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. And she comes across the Scarecrow and says, which is the way to Oz? The Scarecrow says, well, some people like this way and some people like that way. And then some people like both ways. It's just, you know, you have to choose. It's really, all these roads will get you there, but you have to choose your journey.
And that's a key word for me when you say choose, because some people, they are afraid of choosing the wrong way. But in my life, I've experienced there is no wrong way. There is a road that leads you down a path. And on that road, you might find obstacles, you might find possibilities that will direct you in a different route, right? So there's no wrong and right choices. There is the choice that you make in the moment, and you can always make a new choice. there's nothing that is determined up front, and there's nothing that's not possible down the road. So making a new choice when you feel that that's what you need.
So on this journey that you've been taking, what resources have you found that have really helped you along the way?
Wow, that's an interesting question, because the resources are the things that I've learned in my life. The resources are the ones, the abilities, the skills and abilities that life has taught me, right? So going through difficult times, years of not having my parents alongside me when I was a young adolescent, all these different difficult situations I've been going through, they have given me a lot of skills and resources that I have been able to pull on now that I'm going through this part of my life. The skills like being determined, being trusting in yourself, knowing that everything will be all right, like that, those kind of inner skills I feel are the most important. But also, of course, like community, asking people for help when I'm stuck and I don't know what to do, reaching out to others. So being in a community where I can ask for help, that has been a huge resource.
I think that whole concept of community is contrary to most people's concepts of being an online entrepreneur. People actually think that they are solopreneurs. They are all by themselves. They're sitting at a desktop or a laptop somewhere, and they work alone. And yet I too have found the need for community, the need to have mastermind groups, the need to find people who know more. And the biggest shocker to me was so many people are gracious in giving you of time, energy, counsel, because they know that they succeed when they have served someone else.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. And actually, I was quite a few years in realizing that. I had been going on for a couple of years trying to do it on my own, and even if I had access to a community, I was still not reaching out. I was not asking people for help. I was not offering, well, I was offering my help in some cases, but not really in the areas of my life where I really have good skills. And that is really something that I have learned, that what you give out comes back to you.
Okay, so segue from that, can you identify 3 people, 3 influences that have assisted you on this journey?
Yeah, I think the first person I need to call out is my dad. The inspiration he has given me, and that is something, it's actually something that I've realized the last couple of years, is that, oh God, the way that he trusted in his intuition, he trusted in the feeling that he needed to go be a missionary in Africa, and acting on that, the trust he showed in just taking action and following his bliss, following his, I don't know if you call it bliss, because I think it's been pretty scary for him to take 4 kids out of school, put them in a caravan and just drive on down through Europe. It's like, that takes a lot of guts. So he's a huge inspiration for me. In the community, I met a woman called Kat Smith. She has been like, I've seen in her myself. So she's been these 3 steps ahead of me, right? And I've just been able to connect so much with her. And she's been a huge inspiration, stepping into these, out of the comfort zone, into the fear, stepping into being, risking being seen as a freak or somebody who is a little crazy because you're doing all this spiritual kind of thing, cacao ceremonies, what is that? And it's so that she's really inspiring me. And then I must say, my son has inspired me a lot, because he is, some of the things that I'm trying to teach him, he says to me, you know what, Mom, I already know that. I was born with that knowledge. And I'm like, what? Born with that knowledge? How can you say that? The kid is, like, he said that when he was 17 years old. And I was like, you know what? I actually think you were. So this trusting, totally trusting in that I am in this world because I chose to be here and I have something to give. I have a mission. I have a purpose in life. That is, and knowing that in such a profound way, that is really inspirational to me.
My goodness, that's wonderful. So tell me this. What are the most common myths about your career path in the digital entrepreneurship that you'd like to debunk right now?
A myth. I think there are a lot of myths, probably that it's easy to make money online. I think that's a myth. It takes hard work. It takes determination. It takes a goal, first of all, a goal. And what do you call it? You call it reverse engineering, like really knowing, okay, I have this goal and I need to have these small steps to reach that goal. So that it's easy to make money online is a myth, but it's not like, what did you say, difficult or hard either. It's because you need to do the work, yes, but it's totally possible, like, and anybody can do it. So it kind of contradicts itself, kind of in some funny way when I say it like this, but but it's a huge world, it's a huge playground. The online business entrepreneur, anything is possible. You can write a book. You can be like, have one-on-one conversations like we're having right now, and like I have with my coaching clients. You can sell products. You can make artwork and sell. I have a friend who I'm helping selling his pictures, like his photographs. It's whatever it's really a place where you can sell what you really, your passion, basically. Yeah. I'm not sure if I answered that question very well, but
Well, I think the thing is that you made it very clear this is not a get rich quick scheme. And people frequently come in thinking that that's what it's all about. And the reality for myself is I came here with the idea to make some money, but what I have found is spirituality,
yes,
connection.
yes,
I have discovered that I am totally responsible for my life, something that I cognitively knew, but I didn't know it in my heart. And also that I am ultimately responsible for everything that happens in my life.
yes. And also, Gary, you are everything you need, right? It's not that you can do everything, you have all the skills right now, but you are the resource of that skill. You can learn that skill. It's, for some people it will take more time than others. And what I have found in the entrepreneurial online business is that I was not clear at all on what I wanted to do as an online entrepreneur. That was something that came in the process, working and putting out things online, practicing doing videos, all that stuff. That is, yeah, you are the person that you need. You're all you need. And you need to decide that I'm going to do this and I'm going to stick to it no matter what it takes, because that's also a thing that I think that a lot of people, they give up. They think, oh, I'm not as good as this person. I'm not as funny as that person, or I don't have whatever it takes. You have everything it takes. You just need to believe it and not give up, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, if you could step into my shoes, Guni, what question should I have asked you that I haven't?
Oh, I had a very good question before, and it's slipping my mind. Okay, let me just tap into my heart, because I know that's where the answers are. What would your future self tell you about yourself?
All
That
right,
would be
that's my question then. Answer it, please.
yeah. My future self would tell me, don't be so serious about things. This journey is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to have fun on the way, and trust in yourself. You've got this. And look at me, I have everything that I've dreamt of. And I only have that because you made it possible, because you took the action so that I could become the one that I am today.
That's beautiful. I got to tell you, I hope people came with wheelbarrows to this podcast, because there are golden nuggets laying everywhere. They'll get plenty of good advice here. That's wonderful. I'm sure there's people sitting in there saying, all right, this lady's really interesting. How do I get in touch with her? So where's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Well, I have built a website, and it's called www.guniblohm.com. And it's not perfect, and it's not what I want it to be, but it's there. And it's a work in progress, right? So there are the informations there, and you can read a little more about me and my journey and what I have learned in life. Then also I have an email address that is also my name, Guni Blohm @hotmail.com. And you're welcome to contact me.
Okay, we'll make sure those are in the show notes for anyone who is looking for that, driving their car right now saying, I don't have a pen and a pencil. How am I going to do that? Don't worry, we'll have it in show notes for you. So now we're getting to the crux of this whole interview. This is where I give you an opportunity, Guni, to speak to the world for 2 uninterrupted minutes and to let them know what you think the world needs to hear from you. And so the time is now yours.
Thank you, Gary. Wow, that's a huge opportunity you give me here. I just want to say that we are all here for a reason. I totally believe that we came here because we wanted to be here. We wanted to learn something. We wanted to share our gifts. And you can't get this wrong. You might sit out there and feel that, my life is not going the way I wanted it to go. But, trust me, your life is exactly the way it needed to be in order for you to have the realizations that you needed to have in order to come to the place where you are able to share your gifts. Everything you're going through in life has a meaning, and I truly believe that our biggest challenges are our biggest gifts. They going through the huge challenges we have in life and we meet, they will give you skills and abilities that you had never thought were able for you or possible for you to develop. And those skills and abilities will be a huge gift for other people if you're willing to share them. So yeah, it's, believe in yourself and believe that there's a purpose in life and that there's a reason why you're here, that you are what you need to be and you have what you need to have, and the power is within you. You're not powerless. You need to believe that you are powerful. Yeah, that's what I would like to share.
Powerful beyond measure. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, you heard it from Guni, ladies and gentlemen. That will conclude our podcast. We want to thank you for participating, Guni, for sharing with the audience. There was a lot of golden nuggets. I really appreciate it. There's things that you've said that have really resonated with me in my heart and touched me deeply. So thank you so much. And that will conclude our podcast for today. Thank you for attending, Guni. Please, if you like what we're doing, subscribe to this podcast, and why don't you share it with a friend? And with that, this is Gary saying farewell.